All right. Yes. Okay. Bravo. Yeah. Goose egg, everybody. What's up? Welcome in to Titans Tube. I'm Justin, and this is Jake, and we're going to be recapping that goose egg of a masterpiece that the defense laid on the Jags on Sunday. Titans getting a win 20-0 and moving to 9-4 in a very tightly contested AFC. Yeah, Jake, I don't know. We just mentioned it briefly before we started recording, but not a whole lot that we can or care maybe to get into here. But I guess just to start things off, Jake, bottom line, that was a master class from the defense, Jake. And I know there's always the caveat of, it was just the Jags, yada, yada, yada. They're a dumpster fire. We know. But hey, pitching a shutout in the NFL is a very difficult thing to do, and the Titans got it done. Jake, I'm very excited about this defense, and it's only going to get stronger with players coming back, such as Bud Dupree, David Long Jr., and our shiny new linebacker in Zach Cunningham. This linebacking group is legit now, if they can all fully stay healthy. And as for the offense, dude, that was like the most boring, safest, uninspired
vanilla,
offensive performance ever. I mean, they did enough to win, but the most important thing is the 0 turnovers. And Jake, if this Titans team can play clean in that regards and have limited penalties and 0 turnovers, and we play defense like that, this is a very tough team that's going to be coming into the playoffs. They're going to be a very tough out for opponents. But yeah, the offense was. What do you want to say about the offense? The most exciting thing, what got me off my seat, was seeing that Jeff Swain screen pass that went for 24 yards. I was like, oh, I'm not about to fall asleep anymore. Finally, something interesting happened with this offense. But they got the job done. They put up 20 points, and that was more than enough. 3 points was enough to win with how our defense was playing. But yeah, so that's kind of it. We're still waiting for the offense to hopefully catch up, and we would like to see more points and more prolific, numbers coming up for the offense. But very excited about this defense, Jake, and I think that should be the optimistic, positive story to take from this game. So how do you feel? How do you feel after my opening rambling rants?
No, all good, man. I'm right there with you. I wanted to start with this offense is still very much missing Derrick Henry, and they have not found their footing completely in his absence. Even you go back to the Rams game, they scored 28 points, but basically 2 pick sixes. So the offense was only really responsible for 14 of those points. The Saints game, was I think 23 points. And then the 2 13ers, and then now just a 20 against Jacksonville when, with a Derrick Henry in the lineup, and if A.J. Brown was in the lineup, the Titans were going to run this one up to maybe, 35 plus. But still severely missing Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown in this offense. And that's no secret, Justin. But I was going to say, yes, it's a good thing that this defense is stepping up in the absence of the explosive offense that we've come to find under Ryan Tannehill and the supporting cast that he's had. All kudos to the defense. Love pitching the shutout. Love seeing that goose egg. A lot of people stepping up. Rashaan Evans had a fantastic return to action after Titans fans have been low on him. Zach Cunningham blows into town on a tumbleweed, ready to take his job, and here comes Rashaan Evans. So, you know what they say, Justin? Defense wins championships, and the Titans are only getting healthier and putting it together more on offense. And hopefully, that king that we know, Derrick Henry, can return just in time for the playoffs. And this Titans team's getting healthy, and it feels like a very much why not us situation, Justin. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. You said it's the caveat, it's the Jags. Trevor Lawrence looked terrible, and Urban Meyer's up there fake clapping on the sideline late in the fourth quarter, making a pathetic showing. So yes, you can say that, but it just felt really good as a Titans fan, and I'm sure it felt great for the team to get back in the win column after 2 straight losses.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point bringing up Rashaan Evans. He played a good game. Yeah, the pick that he got, you'll take it, but it fell right into his hands, bouncing right off of Chenault's hands. But he was in the spot to make the play, and he did. And I think he led our team in tackles. Hey, maybe this whole Zach Cunningham thing was like 3D chess that J-Rob was playing to give Rashaan Evans a wake-up call and be like, you're on notice, buddy. You're not even going to have a spot on this team anymore once we bring in this guy, so you better step it up and show us something in this game. And he did. And it's weird. I feel like, so we have these 4 inside linebackers, Brown, Evans, Cunningham, and David Long Jr. I know Rashaan Evans, like you said, has kind of been in the doghouse with fans, and there's reason for that. He's put up some bad highlights over the course of the past couple seasons, I think. But when he's on, he can be up and down, but when he's up, he's a really quality linebacker, and he can start for a lot of teams. So my question is, I know we're kind of getting away from the game a little bit here, but what are we going to do with these 4 linebackers? Is it going to be a constant rotation, or are one of these really quality players just going to have to be sitting on the sidelines for these games? Because you don't bring in Zach Cunningham just to have him sit, so he's going to be in there. David Long Jr. is probably the most versatile linebacker of the 4, so you want him in there. Brown, also versatile. He can do it all. And then you have Evans, who's coming along as evidenced by this past week. So it's a very crowded room suddenly once all these guys get healthy at inside linebacker. But with that and Bud Dupree coming back, dude, we're going to be a nightmare. And Tierre Tart inside to rotate around with Simmons and Autry. We're going to be a terror on this front 7, Jake. We gave up 8 rushing yards to the Jags. Maybe they should have run the ball more. I mean, you're not going to get that many rushing yards running for what? I think they had 8 rushes for 8 yards. So no idea what they're doing. Poor James Robinson. Get him out of Jacksonville and let him see the field with a team that can appreciate his talent. And I think that bumped us up to 2nd in the NFL in rush defense. Again, we love saying this for our preview videos. But man, this is the cornerstone of this team. I mean, they set the tone for the entire game and how we can shut down the rush game, and that's crucial to always don't give an offense the option to be, multidimensional. They've got to throw the ball because they aren't getting nothing on the ground against these boys. But yeah, so yeah, again, shout out Rashaan Evans for coming back and having a solid game. Super excited for this linebacker core to be healthy and playing together once everyone gets up to speed.
Yeah, no kidding. And this defense is snowballing into a very quality defense. And they pitched a shutout without Jack Rabbit Jenkins or David Long Jr. on the field. It's going to show that this Titans team is deep, man. And you mentioned setting the tone in this game. And I guess we can highlight the offense a little bit early on here. But what I love to see the most, other than the shutout in this game, was the Titans offense came out with an opening drive touchdown and converted the extra point. Thank you, Randy Bullock. Even though you missed later in the game, I'm not going to forget that. But they came out and punched this Jaguars team in the mouth with, Tannehill with a huge clutch scramble on 3rd and 7. Without Derrick Henry, Tannehill needs to have at least 3 first downs a game with his legs if this offense is going to do anything. That is a very big X factor. And I think even Mike Tomlin, looking ahead to the Steelers game in his conference call today, said Tannehill's legs is the X factor of this offense right now. And that's very true, Coach Tomlin.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And when Tannehill runs and creates those first downs, it opens up kind of just this offense coming to life. And speaking of somebody coming to life, creating multiple first downs on Sunday, our boy Anthony Ferkser with his season high 4 first down catches. And I think he dropped another one. It would have been 5. Yeah. So shout out to Anthony Ferkser showing his head in this offense. He ended with, let's see here, 4 catches for 34 yards, 2nd leading receiver on the day. And that's what you need out of Anthony Ferkser. You don't need him to be Travis Kelce or George Kittle. He just needs to be that serviceable guy catching balls from Tannehill for first downs. Also, Justin, I almost pulled my hair out, man. I don't know if you were at the game or watching the broadcast.
Watching.
So Julio Jones, man, he ended with 4 catches for 33 yards. Looked serviceable, looked okay doing it. But the first ball Tannehill threw to him on that just quick pass, try and juke your defender, he goes down for like a 3-yard gain, and he gets up slowly, man. I instantly were like, oh, geez, this again. We're going to be dealing with this all year long. But he said he felt good. So as long as we can get Julio Jones more integrated into this offense and use the tight ends, the 2 tight ends. You mentioned Jeff Swaim's screen pass. Two leading receivers, Jeff Swaim and Anthony Ferkser, and that's with a future first ballot Hall of Famer Julio Jones starting for you.
Yeah.
So what I do like from this Titans offense in Derrick Henry's absence is they have definitely spread the ball around. I mean, there's tons of dudes on this receiving checklist. Nick Westbrook, 3 catches. Foreman, 2 catches. Chester Rogers got 1. Racey McMath even got a push past jet sweep. And speaking of Racey McMath, I don't know. I know that the Titans community loves to clamor for these late round draft pick receivers or bottom of the depth chart receivers, but Racey McMath, I think, has the build and the tools, and you saw him cut the corner there. It was a 9-yard gain, kind of a pedestrian play for anybody else, but from a 6th round rookie, that's something that really makes you raise your eyebrows and say, we could have something here.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's a little promising. He got himself a touch. He got himself some game experience. Maybe he impressed the coaches enough to get even more playing time in these following few games. And maybe, hey, we got an actual wide receiver 3 or 4, someone who can beat out Chester Rogers and Nick Westbrook-Akeen and actually make a good contribution to this passing attack while we wait for AJ Brown to get back and for Julio to continue to get fully healthy. I like it. I enjoyed watching Racey McMath play in that one play. Yeah, I like the build. He gives us another dynamic of a big bodied receiver with some athleticism. So hopefully we see more of him down the line. Overall, how would you rank, Ryan Tannehill's performance, if we can touch on him for a bit? Because the big thing, I think, is obviously the no turnovers, but still facing some pass protection issues. Just looks like he's battling some ho-hum, boring play calling, and we're just kind of, again, putting him in position to make a difficult play to convert third downs into first downs. One of the best throws of the game, I thought, was when he rolled out to the right, and Ferkser was running towards the sideline, and he threw it on the run and laid it right on Ferkser, who was covered pretty well. So you love to see that element to the offense. And I thought, Tannehill had moments where he was sharp. I was a little disappointed, speaking of Racey McMath, it looked like he had him open a little late in the game near the sideline, and he overthrew him by a bit. And I was disappointed. I thought, that would be a good opportunity for McMath to continue to catch another ball, but not perfect. Like you said, he used his legs well in this game. And over the course of the season in general, he seems to have hit a bit of a regression throwing the ball, but he's just as good running the ball. I think he's got to have around 250 yards, and I think that was his 6th touchdown running the football. So he continues to be to give us that element to his game, and continues to be a threat. And that's what defenses, they're going to have to keep account of it. And I mean, that was a great point Mike Tomlin made. I almost wish he, didn't say that and was overlooking it, because now they're going to be looking for Tannehill to run. And so we're going to have to look at some other options here to move the football. But overall, I thought he threw the ball pretty well. He was definitely a game managing type of performance. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Should have had one to Jeff Swaim, honestly, in the end zone. There's still a few drops. Still some plays to be made that, it would have had Tannehill looking a little bit better, at least on the stat sheet. But I don't know. I thought he was okay. This was a good game. We needed a no mistake performance from Tannehill, and that's what we got.
Yeah, and you said game manager. That's what Ryan Tannehill was kind of brought in to do. I mean, Marcus Mariota was the game manager of all game managers, it seemed, but he would make those crucial errors, on a as good as he was late in the game. Here we are talking about Mariota, but as good as he was late in the game, he also made those crucial errors, and Ryan Tannehill was brought in and he did not make any of those crucial errors. And the Titans have played winning football since he got here. And so that's the kind of thing he was brought in to do. Obviously, you want to see a little bit more from him. Something that really concerns me about this offense, especially this late in the year, is that the deep ball is non-existent. They don't. Yeah. I think Ryan Tannehill maybe like 3 or 4 passes more than 10 yards down the field. That's not going to get it done. And I think you talked about battling boring play calling, and obviously pass protection has to do with that too. If Ryan Tannehill can't sit back there and let somebody get down the field, of course he's not taking a deep shot because he's got no time to throw. And that's something that it was a glaring negative really in the game. when it's a 20-0 game and we have to search for negatives, Ryan Tannehill was on his back a lot and his jersey was dirty. Even, I think he ended up taking 4 sacks, but he was hit over and over and over again. And, he's got to stand in the pocket and make those tough throws. And, he did on Sunday, nothing too spectacular, but hung in there and was a game manager. So I'm with you on we needed to see a mistake-free Ryan Tannehill. Once we get A.J. Brown back, I always feel like Ryan Tannehill is always just a hair sharper when A.J. Brown is in the lineup. I feel like he just throws with more confidence. There's a security aspect there. He really trusts A.J. In this offense. So hopefully this Titans offense can kind of find its swagger again as A.J. Brown eligible to return next week in that Thursday night showdown with San Francisco. But that's looking too far ahead. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers next week going to Pittsburgh, Justin, in a big one.
Yeah.
The Titans are still alive in the 1 seed of the AFC. What do you think about the realistic possibility that the Titans do nab that 1 seed? And, it's always the hindsight, like, man, there's always that one game that could have been the deciding factor. Dropping that game to Houston at home, Justin, the Titans could be in the 1 seed right now and in the driver's seat to lock this thing up. But, that's not how it goes. But now they have to battle, get a little help maybe from the Indianapolis Colts this coming weekend. Yeah. Do you want to cheer for the Colts or the Patriots? How about neither? Let's root for a tie there. But what do you think about the realistic chances of the Titans getting the 1 seed? They do need a little bit of help with New England having a tiebreaker. But what do you think, Justin?
Well, it's certainly there. So you're looking at Pittsburgh, home against San Francisco, who's been playing better. They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot, Jake. So that is not going to be an easy game. Mm-hmm. But I think it could potentially be a good matchup due to our rush defense. And that's an important aspect for San Francisco's game. But still, you got to contend with George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. That is going to be a tough game. Miami at home has come on strong, so they're going to possibly still be in the mix for a wild card berth. But I would feel, but we get those games at home, and then of course we got to go on the road to Houston. God forbid us get swept by a Houston team that may only win. If they do, they would only win 3 games.
3 games.
2 of them would be against the Titans. So hopefully, I'm not worried about that game. Mm-hmm. Hope maybe Tyrod Taylor will be hurt. He's the only guy I'm worried about on the Texans, but. If we can take care of business against the Steelers on the road here, I am going to be – I will admit that – or it'll be my opinion that I think the 1 seed is definitely a much stronger possibility. It'll depend on what we do against the Steelers because I think if we get that win, if we win out, I think and that's what you want to do is win out. But it still may not happen if the Patriots win all their games. So I think we almost have to win out, Jake. And that's tough to say. I mean, these are no gimme games. I mean, I think the hardest part of our schedule clearly is behind us at this point, but these are still tough teams that are going to be desperate every single week. We got 3 opponents in a row that are each going to be desperate for a win. So it's going to be tough, but as long as we continue to get healthy, I like our chances. I love the way this defense is playing. It's going to be a big challenge against the Steelers, though, in Pittsburgh. Dude, we have not beaten the Steelers in way too long. I mean, you want to talk about any kind of rivalry the Titans may have with either current division foes or former AFC Central division foes. The Steelers are the one team I think that it's taken us the longest to beat. I mean, we've beaten all of our division opponents in recent years. We've beaten everyone else in the AFC North in recent years. But the Steelers, they have our number currently, Jake. So, and we played like crap last time we were in Pittsburgh. Remember that game with Marcus Mariota? I think it was a Thursday night game. Oh, it was rough. And I think a point of emphasis this week for Mike Vrabel and the coaching staff, you could probably say it was no turnovers. That was a point of emphasis, and they executed the no turnovers very well. We came out of that game +4 in the turnover ratio. Point of emphasis here is going to have to be protecting Ryan Tannehill. After that game, we saw him. We just talked about getting sacked 4 times against the Jags, and now we have, if he's healthy, TJ Watt, 16 sacks on the season coming into this game. He can flip a game by himself. He can take over. He's one of those rare defensive players that can totally take over. So as far as the 1 seed goes, it starts against Pittsburgh. I'll feel a lot better about the 1 seed if we can get that win. And I think the key is there, spoiler for our preview video, is going to be protecting Ryan Tannehill. So
yeah,
I like it. I hate that we kind of have to root for the Colts if we want the 1 seed.
Yeah.
The Bills also get to play the Patriots. The Bills are looking bad, though. I don't trust them to get a win against New England. And I think that second game is going to be in New England, but they're going to be desperate. So we'll see what happens there. But those are definitely the 2 strongest chances for New England to drop a game. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If the Patriots beat the Colts, I'm not gonna be that upset.
Yeah.
I don't want any piece of the Colts in the playoffs. I don't even want a chance that we could match up with them for a third time with the way that they're playing. But I like it. I mean, we should obviously root for whatever helps us get that 1 seed and that bye for the sake of Derrick Henry and everyone else. And it's there. We just need a little bit of help from New England's opponents, and we have to win out again. Reiterating that we may not have to if New England slips a little bit, but I don't know. What do you think?
I know it's looking ahead. I'm with you in that. Let's beat Pittsburgh first, and then let's have the conversation. It's kind of let's get the ball rolling a little bit and control our own destiny. And if this team goes and lays an egg in Pittsburgh, with how up and down they've been, we're going to be back down in the dumps, Justin, and thinking about, this team's not any good. It's not a real contender, but this defense, the way it's playing, and Bud Dupree could come back this week, Justin, for a perfect Steelers revenge game in Pittsburgh. Yes. And with how immobile Big Ben is, if the team can take away the short passing game of Big Ben and get the rush on him, there's no reason the Titans can't steamroll Pittsburgh. The offense has to score more points. That's kind of the bottom line. And anything longer than 45 yards, by the way, Justin, I don't want to see Randy Bullock on the field. If it's 45 or less, bring him out. That's fine. If it's anything more than that, let's just go for the damn thing. I couldn't believe Vrabel sent him out on, I think it was like maybe 4th and 3. I thought he would for sure go aggressive there. But that's beside the point. This Pittsburgh game is going to be big, and it's going to be a good measuring stick on how this Titans team is kind of gaining steam. Yes, obviously you're gaining steam without AJ Brown or Derrick Henry, the 2 maybe biggest pillars of your offensive performance. But I don't know. We'll see how it all ends up. And man, if we did get that 1 seed, look out, Justin, because a well-rested Titans team, dangerous, man, real dangerous.
Yeah. Even with the Jags being our opponent on Sunday, I think that defense, they would have been hard to score on for any team. I mean, you could have thrown the I don't know who's a great offense. I was going to say the Rams, but we already kind of shut down the Rams. The Cardinals, they have a great defense. I don't know. I would like to have a rematch against them after that week 1 embarrassment. But anyway, the Titans are looking good, getting better, getting healthier, particularly on defense, just waiting for the offense to catch up a little bit. I was going to say I don't like the 2-game losing streak we just came out of, but dude, here are the Titans once again flying under the radar now because of that, and everyone's just kind of counting them out. And now, and if history is any indicator, Titans seem to play their best. They seem to do their best when they're flying under the radar and they're not in the national spotlight. I think we are getting Tony Romo and Jim Nantz for this Pittsburgh game.
Yes,
so
we
talking
are.
about not being in the national spotlight, we're kind of in the national spotlight for that noon game. But I don't think people are giving the Titans much of a chance. And it seems like people are oddly very unimpressed about a 20-0 shutout, probably because of the opponent. But I mean, that's a good bounce back win after a bye week that this team desperately needed. And I was out working last night listening to the Monday night game, and then that got over. Post-game show was over, and then some national radio guys were on. And I caught him like mid-conversation, but they were just talking about the AFC playoffs, and like out of nowhere, one of the guys goes, Tennessee, I mean, no, I just don't see it happening for Tennessee. I'm not scared of them whatsoever. I don't think any team in these AFC playoffs are going to be scared to take on the Tennessee Titans. And I think, of course, he said something about us. Obviously, if Derrick Henry gets healthy again, maybe we can have a different conversation, but no one's scared of these Titans. And I'll give you that. Just for the offensive sake, but this defense is something to contend with, Jake. And as you said earlier, defense wins championships, and as long as they're healthy and playing at this level, we're going to be hanging around and have a shot in any game at the end of this regular season and further on into the playoffs. So I just like that. I like that we've, again, suddenly found ourselves under the radar. Nobody's looking at us or paying attention to us. And we hopefully will make some moves here in these final 4 games.
And I love that you brought that up, Justin. And because I've been seeing it too, even just on Twitter. And I think you're seeing the ripple effect from the Adam Schefter just being adamant that Derrick Henry is done for the year. He has been adamant from day one, and you're seeing that ripple. And now reports are coming out. Oh, maybe the 6 to 10 week timeline. Wow, that's in early January before the playoffs start. And people have just started. They've heard that initial Schefter report and just assumed that Derrick Henry's done. And the Titans aren't going to get Derrick Henry back. And of course, if us Titans fans knew that we weren't getting Derrick Henry back, we wouldn't be talking about the 1 seed. We'd be like, well, we're not. I don't know if we're going to go anywhere without Derrick Henry. But here's the thing: he's on track to return, Justin. And if he can be healthy, if he can even be 90% going through January, these defenses are going to be scared to play the Titans, Justin. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
And if this offense can catch up, like you said, I'm getting giddy thinking about it because we finally got the good defense. We're getting healthy at the right time. Why not us? Why not us? And I could give a rip about any national radio guy or anybody who just sees this Fireball logo. And listen, I get it. I feel this way about other teams in the NFL. You just see their logo and you're like, nah, never. And I'm trying to think of an example, like maybe Washington football team or like maybe the Giants, even though they won 2 Super Bowls when I was growing up. But you still you look at maybe the Jets logo and you're like, never the Jets, even if they were good. And you just kind of think that way about them. I get it. But you said it. The Titans do their best work flying under the radar. So, F them, man. I don't give a rip. Sorry, censoring myself. But it's
okay.
The national media guys don't watch the games, and it's evident. And whatever. You've gotten me all wound up about the disrespect. But I really truly don't care, even though I'm fumbling over myself trying to defend the Tennessee Titans.
We deserve respect. And hey, listen, I don't know how we're flying under the radar, which I think we are, but as a franchise as a whole, hey, this win clinched, I think, our 5th straight winning season.
6, I think.
6. All under the mentorship and leadership of John Robinson. I think that's the first time that's happened in franchise history since the Oilers in the early 90s. I forgot the stat and the name, but and I think besides them, the Chiefs are the only team with a longer consecutive winning streak over the course of a season. I think the Seahawks are there, but they're going to fall off unless they can win out and finish 9-8. I think they still have a chance. So Titans are officially have the 3rd longest winning streak, but they have a consecutive season winning streak. Yeah. But they've officially clinched it now with this win over the Jags. So, dude, we're living in some pretty good times. And, dude, if we can just capitalize on one of these winning seasons and take it all the way home, we will be sitting and basking in the glory that Titans fans have been waiting for a very long time.
Yep.
So, good times. I mean, it's only natural for sports fans and stuff to be nitpicky about your team, even when you're really good. I see tweets and Reddit posts from Patriots fans and complaining when their team loses and when things are going bad. And I'm like, oh, why don't you go make yourself feel better and sit next to your 7 championships in the last 20 years? Why are you even sad? You're the most spoiled sports fan of all time, officially. So it's just good. It's good times. And, it gives us something to talk about. And if there's bad things to talk about along with the good, but overall, this is fun times to be a Titans fan. 6 consecutive winning seasons. We're on track to win our 2nd straight division title and make another run, another grun, a go. I think I tried to say a go and
go run. Let's go. Let's run all the way
to a Lombardi trophy. Yes. So yeah, a lot of things to be excited about. Man, nothing gets your hopes, riled back up after shutting out the Jacksonville Jaguars once again.
It was the sweeping. True. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, once again, sweeping the Jags, dude. You gotta think when Derrick Henry went down, they're probably like, oh, thank goodness we don't have to play Henry for the 2nd game. This is gonna be amazing. What do they get? A 20-0 shutout. dude, we completely own the Jags franchise right now, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's you hit it on the head. I think this is I don't know, 5 in a row against Jacksonville. I think the last loss was the Thursday night Mariota game.
Yeah, I think we've won 8 of 9 though. So we have been sweeping them before that.
Yeah, and the Derrick Henry 99-yard touchdown against the Jags on that Thursday night game was so iconic that I think that whenever the Titans wear mono navy at home against the Jaguars, it's just the ultimate get right game, And then you think the year after, Derrick Henry had another long touchdown, and the Titans absolutely routed Jacksonville at home in the all navy. So let's just wear all navy every single time in the home Jacksonville game, and we'll win by 20 plus. And but you said it was the ultimate get right game. I mean, we limped into the bye, literally and metaphorically, with 2 losses and everybody injured, and we were low and we were just exhausted. And then coming back in, 20-0 beat down to the Jags, send Urban Meyer packing, keep their spiral going on. It was the ultimate feel-good game. Sit back and have a beer game, like I've been alluding to for Titans fans. So it was nice to have. It was nice to have for one Sunday. I think next week will be a little more stressful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's funny in that it was kind of a relaxed, enjoy the game comfortably feel, but it was only 10-0 like until the third quarter. But it felt like we were blowing them out. It was just like, okay, just can we start stacking some points and actually feel comfortable? But the game fell well in hand with the way that the defense was executing. But yeah, felt like a much bigger blowout than 20-0.
Yeah.
With the missed field goal too. I mean, it could have easily been 23. So thanks a lot for that, Randy. But yeah, gonna be tough to play a desperate Pittsburgh team in their house in December. Mike Tomlin is gonna have that team ready to go, no doubt about it. So we'll preview that game a bit later on in the week. But I think that's gonna do it for our recap. Jake, you got anything left for us?
Nothing left for me. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Tighten up. Great to be back in the win column, Justin. And let's go beat the old rival Pittsburgh Steelers, man. We've lost 3 in a row, I believe. If not, maybe 4. I'm trying to think of the last Pittsburgh win. Maybe the Rob Baronis game winner on Thursday night comes to mind, but that can't be the last win against the Steelers.
It was the Darius Raynaud kneel down in the end zone to take a safety on the opening on week 1. Yeah. We beat him with Jake Locker.
Yeah.
I remember that was Delaney Walker's first game as a Titan. I remember him catching some passes and being like, "Ooh, who's this? Who's this guy? This guy's going to be awesome." And he was.
Yep.
Dude, that's the last time we beat Pittsburgh is Delaney Walker's first game as a Titan. That kind of puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
How long it's been. So Jake Locker, shout out. All right. Hopefully we can.
did not think we'd get a Jake Locker reference in this Jaguars recap bid, but hey, there you go. That's Titans, man.
The last Titans quarterback to beat the Steelers. Kind of sad, but hopefully that will be Ryan Tannehill come Sunday.
Yep.
But look forward to that preview, guys. As Jake said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you. And also with our picks video for Week 15. So stay tuned. We appreciate you guys, and tighten up as always.